The Podical son.
You need to do other things and stuff to build.
Yeah. I mean, you.
No,
I don't know what to tell you.
We're here, man. We're here in the now. We're
Yeah.
not. That was then. This is now. Like I said, I have a whole learning process that I learned from that situation.
Yeah.
And I know you are a different individual from them.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna fry you with their oil.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So my thing is.
Well, you know what? It's funny because I was always a person from the outside looking in, and saying and having these thoughts, but knowing that I wasn't in a position to say to myself, you know what? Having these thoughts, let me approach you in this angle, because after I approach you in this angle, I'm approaching you with the fact that, hey, listen, I know you need somebody serious to partner up with to have these ideas,
absolutely,
and run these ideas through. You understand?
Absolutely.
So within that same token or that same line of thinking, that's how I approach. When I got this idea, I approached this idea just simply from knowing how, okay, you've done, you've done a few attempts at running your own business. You understand? I seen what the effort that you've put forward to making these things successful, right? And even in regards to the podcast, you know what I mean? It's this whole thing. It's sprung about of just not only me and you having the conversations that we have, but the fact that I know that you've already approached this podcast situation. You understand? And not even we're trying to figure out why it's stopped, or why it hasn't continued on, because I know within certain aspects, both of you who were doing a previous show had things that came up, that put things into a pause, right?
Right.
And whether or not it would have started up again, to me was neither here or there.
Right.
To me, I had this idea saying to myself, well, listen, I have an idea for a podcast. Me and you have a good rapport. It's maybe not something that you may have thought about, but I've thought about it. So let me kick it to you. And if it's something that has interest to you, then half the battle for me is already won, because you already have the perspective and the know-how from doing previous episodes. You understand? So that half, part of that is already eliminated from the equation. I already know that you have an idea of a format and setup. It's just basically now me coming to you and approaching you with my ideas as far as what kind of podcast I see me and you doing. Right. And then you you thinking it in your head, seeing how it would work. And then we just rolling from there. This is basically how Podical Sons started.
Pretty much.
And this is how I look towards you, as how I get these other ideas. I look at people who are business minded, and there's other people who I have in mind who can kind of jump in. But I'm always of belief of, besides me, I just need one more serious person who gets that idea, and then where I'm short on a slack, that other person can kind of pick up, or where that other person's short on a slack, I can kind of pick up.
That's it.
And between the two of us, we can set that foundation where where the foundation's there, and then anybody we include after that can only build upon that, but will never ever tear down what's already there.
You're right.
You kind of get me?
Yeah.
You understand? So that's why, you know what I mean? That's why that idea I had in my head, I put it out there to other people. But within putting that out there to other people, I understand certain people might not be in a situation to kind of approach it the way it needs to be approached. Or certain people might not have the mindset to approach it.
I think it's the
mindset. It
mindset. It's absolutely. I feel like it's the mindset, because that's just me personally. I just feel like it's the mindset, because this is your first time approaching me. With this. And I seen visions. I seen breakdown. I seen so many other. Like, in between to and fro of how this thing could work and stuff, whatever, from your side and from your vision and then my vision and stuff, whatever, right? Right. And then I seen that from all that. Yeah. To another person, you probably pitched something you probably pitched the same thing to them and they look like, man. And that's what I'm saying, like, that's on their ambition. And there's nothing wrong with that and stuff, but my thing and stuff is that going back to your foundation thing and stuff, whatever, you can't build with their foundation and stuff, whatever, something like that. Yeah, okay. They can add on. They can water the plant. They can water the tree and all that type of stuff and make the leaves even pop more. For sure. But at the end of the day, the root stuff, whatever, like, no, you need people and stuff, whatever, that can see the vision, is willing to do the whole fix the grass, sow the seed, all that type of stuff, whatever, from the jump. Yeah. And know for a fact that a tree does not grow in 1 month. Right.
But I mean, the reason why I say that is it might also be not only see the vision, but in, a position in life is because some people may see the vision, but see it to the point where they realize it might take a certain resources they're not in their stage of life to put forth. Right. You understand? Whether it's time, whether it's finance, you know what I mean? They can see it, but you know what I mean, from that standpoint, they're not able to contribute. True. You understand? So fair. They'll hear the idea and they'll say, okay, yeah, it's cool, but they kind of, you know what I mean, and not necessarily put it on a back burner because they want to put it on the back burner, but put it on the back burner because at this point in time, for them, other stuff is important. Yeah.
Which is fine. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. There's no doubt and stuff that whatever. But my thing is this. Okay, fuck it. You mentioned this. Say you would have mentioned this to me and stuff. Whatever. We're in November. You mentioned this to me in September and everything. Whatever. September isn't the time and stuff for me because you mentioned it when I gotta pay child support or whatever the hell, and all this type of stuff, whatever, right? Yes. But come October and stuff, whatever, it's up to the individual to try and sort themselves out to say like, yo, I don't want a good thing like this pass me. Because that's what I'm saying. And that's my thing and stuff. And I'm like, yo, I'll get back to you. So if you pitch it to me in September and be like, yo, are you still thinking about that thing? Yeah. And be like, if you are and stuff, whatever, like, yo, don't leave me out. Right. I'm just trying to sort my shit out. Right. Enough to at least contribute to like this, or at least to invest into this. And that's what I'm saying. Therefore, I'm there and stuff for that. But if you give it to me in 2 months, I say not crickets chirp, whatever, then the level of my seriousness.
Well, so here's what I say to that. This is the reason why I put it out there. Mm-hmm. You understand? Right. So you know that seed has been planted. Right. You understand? Whether you can act upon it now, or
within a timely manner.
Whether you can act upon it within a timely manner, or whether you don't want to act upon it at all.
But you put the seed there.
I put the seed there. You understand? And now, when I put the seed out there, I'm putting the seed out there with the intentions of me already doing this, or already imagining myself doing this. Right. With or without that seed I gave you. You understand? Right. Keeping in mind that not only I'm giving you the seed, but anybody who's serious-minded, I'm giving that seed too. Right. You understand? With the thought that it's only going to take me and another person to see this vision. Right. Once me and this other person sees this vision, we're off to the races with it.
Pretty much.
You understand?
Pretty much.
But I'm making sure that other person who I see with it is going to be able to bring me to that solid foundation that I need. Because once I'm at that solid foundation that I need, now I can go back and revisit the other person who I spoke to and say, listen, yo, remember what I told you about 3 months ago and 4 months ago? That you weren't sure that you could get in about if this is that and the third, if there was a concern with you.
I had all that too. Smooth,
you know what?
Smooth. I had all that.
It's here now. So if you're still iffing and butting about it, it's at a level where now it's a little bit more secure. If you want to jump in now, you have a little bit less risk of jumping in now because that groundwork has already been laid out.
I know.
It's done.
I know. You know how many people I had throw money and stuff for towards Get Nasty after we got past the beginning thing?
Yeah.
I heard you guys are you're freaking nasty, you're a pervert, you're like, who the fuck wants to look at porn all day? I heard all of it.
You heard it?
And then I heard those same people coming back.
Yeah.
Yo, you know, so can I invest into it and stuff, whatever? I'm like, so you guys are now corporation now, whatever. Like, there's shares and everything and stuff. I'm like, every time it happens, I had them say Mike Jones line in my back of my head. Back then, they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. It always pops up. Yeah. Same thing with the Game Tory thing. When the Game Tory thing stuff was going to and fro, they're like, because you have time to just play video games all day and everything like what. I heard all the negative comments.
Yeah.
Then I'm telling them like, this Saturday I gotta do this tournament. I gotta do this tournament here. I gotta go drive here and stuff, whatever. I'm like, I'm just giving up prize money for the first, second, and third, and then we raking in the rest of the money to ourselves. Then that's when people start to be like, if you broke it down to me how that was gonna be.
Listen, man, and this is the thing I love about you, because when you're doing through all these things, I believe me, I seen it.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
But the same thing what I'm talking about when sometimes you're not in a position to say to yourself, I see where Dude is going, and I can jump in and I can be a better fit. When you were doing all of that stuff, I was in no position to be a benefit, to jump in and say at least, and not even looking at it to the standpoint where I can gain something from it, but looking at it from a standpoint where I can just even be a benefit to it, and not have to worry about my position in life or anything like that. You understand? So that's why I never really even I seen what she's doing is the majority of things that I was doing. Yes, you know what? I can help promote. I can help do encouragement. This and that. And I mean, that's as far as I can do without extending myself. You understand? But it's always in my mind is saying to myself, you're doing your thing. I can see the grind. So whenever I always. So that's what I'm saying. Whenever I'm in a position to be at that point now, I'm saying, well, where do I look at? Oh shit. Marv is a good person to hurt up, because I can see, I've seen where that grind is.
My resume is there, man.
The resume is there. You understand? Everybody else, Swift is another person. Like I say, I see the resumes that, you know what I mean. There's certain resumes where you can see where you know what I mean. You can jump in, and even if they're not jumping in right away, you can say, at some point where it makes sense for them to jump in, they're gonna jump in, and when they jump in, they jump in full-heartedly, because they know the program, what the program is, and what it's all about, man. You understand? So, and that's all I've been saying, though. I've been recording for the last 12 and 45 minutes. So if you want to introduce the show, you want to come in 6 minutes, just come in 6 inches from the mic. Whether we keep this beginning or not, it doesn't matter. But it's just me and you vibing out. I thought it'd just be fun for me to just hit the record button and just let us just vibe out. But
it's all about
we're
the hustle,
here, man.
folks.
Let's get. Introduce the show. Let's introduce to the show.
Welcome back to the best no judgment zone in the world, because neither one of us don't have any law degrees. I'm Marvelous.
And I'm not your average Joseph.
And we are Podical Sons. Let's continue with the damn show. You got me there.
Listen. I'm setting up. I'm getting our levels queued. I'm, getting everything set, and we're having a good conversation. Who knows where this will ever make sense? But we're talking, we're vibing out, we're recording.
It'll make sense to the true listeners. It'll make sense. To the day ones, you'll understand. You'll see the vision and stuff. Whatever. You're like, oh, you remember this episode? Be like, yeah, that was that.
And you'll point back to this episode and you say, this is where it all started. This is where the Podical Sons have continued and expanded that journey that they started. Right?
Yeah. You got me, man. Yeah.
So with that being said, I would like to apologize. We had a week go by, but your boy was going at it hard with the Battle of the Beat Makers.
Right.
That was a serious event. We had judges Illmind, Just Blaze, and Manny Fresh coming out to the show, and
Fresh.
And with that being said, again, speaking on what we were just talking about earlier, a bit about what I want to tell you about that, but I can't tell you on the show. But that's an off mic conversation.
That's cool. That's cool.
There's an off mic conversation we'll have, but
we'll have that.
I mean, shout out to Manny Fresh again, Ill Mind, and Just Blaze coming out to show. Super shout out to the winner, Lucy Clubhouse.
Yeah.
The third female to win the Battle of the Beatmakers, and the youngest at 14.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking like this youngin' got a little heat.
So again, if you're fresh to the Podical Sons webcast, you don't know what I do on the side thing. I also do the Battle of the Beatmakers, which is a competition for beatmakers around the world. We give voices to the beatmakers who are behind the scenes, giving them an upfront exposure and a chance to be heard. You understand? So it's almost it's just 13 years running. We're coming up close. 2020 which should be our 15-year anniversary, so we're really pushing to get stuff big happening towards then. And this 2018 was really good, Marv.
Yeah.
It's so good that it kept me busy that we didn't get to squeeze in an episode, so we're sorry about that, but nevertheless, we got an exciting show in front of us. So we're gonna.
But if you're hearing this, it's too late.
It's too late. So again, shout out to Lucy Clubhouse. Go check her out on IG. She
don't got too much on her IG page though.
Not too much.
I was about to say, because I'm about to say like after I seen everything, so I'm looking at, I'm like, baby girl. But I guess she probably just kind of keeping a quiet heat to herself.
Keeping it quiet, and and this is the thing with now being concerned about putting forth a brand. You want to make sure everything is proper, is popping across all platforms. You don't want to misrepresent yourself. But
my question to you and stuff is that, like, would it be better and stuff for a person to at least put out their not even their A shit, but their B shit? So let's say, for example, and stuff, whatever, your A and stuff is your top line fire, like, even Jesus will part the clouds and stuff and come down and say, yes, this song right here,
yes,
is that.
Yes.
But even your B stuff, whatever, like, is it that bad, like in the digital age that we live in, that you don't want to put the B stuff out there?
You know what? I don't even think it's that bad as much as the nature of competition.
Right.
I think we're in the age of, you're putting, if you're going into a beat battle or any type of competition,
right,
for that matter, before the dawn of internet, you always try to find out as much as you possibly can about your opponent, right?
Right.
So think about it now with the dawn of the internet. You understand? If I'm in a beat battle and I know, I'm going up against certain this, that, and person, I'm probably trying to research of what they have in their arsenal.
Right.
You know what I mean? What kind of beats they make? What are they coming with? What kind of style they're doing? This, that, and the third. So, in a sense like that, pulling back your beats from off the internet may be a good thing.
A more beneficial type of thing.
You know what I mean? Puts you at a more competitive advantage. So I'm always looking at things from that perspective.
So what about like I want to say Eminem 8 Mile perspective? Like when you put out all that type of stuff about you and everything, and then people still love you and rock with you and everything.
Yeah.
So like, let's say for example, you have Lucy, who just had like maybe like 2 or 3 posts on her IG, whatever, right?
Yeah.
A little something small and stuff with her. And they have like little snags and little 2 snaps and snares, right?
Yeah.
And then like you might have another situation where you have another person and stuff that put out their B shit.
Right.
And they put out like 30 samples and stuff out there, whatever. Where do you think has the advantage and stuff over the 2 samples or the 30 samples? It's not quantity always. It's quality is always good over quantity.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you have the quantity and stuff, whatever, a lot of times people overlook the quality.
And again, it all depends on the audience you're going for, right?
Mm-hmm.
So think about it. If you post 10 beats,
mm-hmm,
and only out of the 10 beats, 4 of them are fire.
Right.
Right?
Right.
The other 6 is, Yeah, I mean, maybe 3 out of the other 6 is, and 3 out of the other 6 is just straight garbage.
Right.
Then really, you only have maybe 4 beats with the potential of somebody saying, yo, I'm going to repost this because this is really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to make people know about it. Right?
Right.
But you have potential of the other 6 beats people posting as, this was just straight garbage. Or, this is mediocre. Nothing positive about the other 6 beats, right? Whereas, if you posted just 4 beats that you believe is straight fire, right? But out of the 4 beats, maybe 3 beats people believe is straight fire, then you have the potential of 3 beats being posted as, yo, this thing is straight fire, and only 1 beat promoted as being, this is garbage, as opposed to 6 beats being posed as,
I get what you're saying.
this is garbage. So the quantity might not always work in your favor.
Meanwhile, you're saying this stuff, it kind of paints a vision for the whole good music formula that they ran with this past summer.
Yeah.
Like with just the 7 songs.
The 7 songs.
Because with the 7 songs and stuff, whatever, like, let me say this pertaining to the Pusha, pertaining to the Nas, and pertaining to the Tiana Taylor and stuff, whatever, like to those and stuff, whatever. It was kind of hard to say the album is not proper because it's probably like two songs.
Yeah.
Out of the 7 that you're like, But then you have the other 5 that say, yo, 5 out of 7, 5 out of 2, dun dun dun, this album is just fire.
This album's fire all of a sudden, right? So,
yeah.
But you, and that's, I guess, the thing that you really got to look at. It's got to be a balance, I think, a fine balance. Because if you're putting out
like a Drake double disc album,
right, you run the risk of putting stuff on there that may not be as fire as you think they may be. But you're only putting you're only putting them on there because you want to fill the space, right?
Pretty much.
Whereas if you limit yourself to, like, say 7 records, then you say to yourself, well, I know for sure 12 of these records is fire. But I really now got to decide out of the 12 records that are fire, which 7 is the most fire.
Right.
And in doing that now, you increase, I think, your odds of
success.
Of success. Whereas maybe the more it might be, I don't know. I mean, just a perspective that I may look at it.
No, I mean, that's what we're here for. Right? Like, different points of view, different POVs. And I mean, you're right, though. When you look at it like that, I see it now. If you didn't break it down to me like that, whatever, I didn't really see it like that before, but now I see the vision and I understand it.
Yeah.
So, because I was like, why? Like, hitting them, like, but you want to get your point across, or you want to at least to be known and stuff, whatever, right? But then again, when you say it like that, it's kind of like you have all your trump cards still in your sleeve compared to that person and stuff that only has 2 trump cards, and you have a full deck of trump cards.
Yeah.
Up your sleeve.
Yeah.
So, shout out again to Lucy.
Shout out to Lucy, man. Big up yourself. 2018 Battle of the Beat Makers champion. Again, it was a success. If you want to catch some of the footage, you can go to YouTube and look at the Sound Supremacy website, or sorry, the Sound Supremacy link, the Battle of the Beat Makers. If you type in that, I'm pretty sure anything will pop up, and then you can just check the competition out from that. With that being said, all right. So what do we got on the dot, Marv?
We got a few things. But
hold
on. Let's still dance with this music thing. I got a question for you.
Yes.
How does a new musician make money now? You know, because musicians are doing more than just music and stuff, whatever now, right?
Yeah.
But those are the ones that are established.
Yes.
But then you have this thing and stuff. I don't know if you heard, like SoundCloud now is starting to do a deal where they'll pay these unsigned hype or the unsigned artists,
right,
a little percentage and stuff of their listens and everything and stuff, whatever, right? They're probably just breaking them off like a few cents or maybe like a few bucks and stuff whatever off of it when they were getting nothing before.
Right.
It's kind of like they'll upload something, they won't get no hits and stuff, whatever now. But how do you, since you're in that music world, how does a musician today make money now?
Well,
is SoundCloud your only option?
Well, from the standpoint of the the independent musician and the independent artist.
Yeah.
It's way more easier now than it was prior, before, when you needed a label to get on.
Right.
With that being said, I think it's harder to get paid for the same amount of work that you would have if it was just the traditional CD, before CD, cassette, before cassette, vinyl.
Right.
You understand? Those physical mediums where people actually had to go out and buy, right? For each one of those physical mediums sold, you as an artist, you got a certain percent of, right?
Yeah.
Now,
because that comes back to you, and if I'm not mistaken, to the royalty aspect, though, right?
Comes back to you through the royalty aspect, right?
Right.
Now, with that being said, at that point in time, for you to be able to produce CDs, tapes, and records, you had to be signed with a major record label. You had to have a major record label deal. There was no way an independent, I don't mean no way an independent, but as an independent, you would have had to have lots of money to be able to play that game, to be able to print CDs, records, and tapes, for to be able to be consumption of or be able to be distributed. Let's say that. You understand?
Right.
And then you would have to have.
But that's on the main level, though.
This is what. Hold on. And then you would have to have the marketing money to support that. You understand? Right. So that's why, in my day coming up, we didn't see that much independence, because it took a lot of money.
Right.
Whereas if you were an artist, you would sign to a major label, because the major label had the resources to do those sort of things.
Right.
Right? With that being said, now the major label would give you, let's say, an advance to do your album, for you to make your album. $250,000, let's say, to make an album. So with that $250,000, you go and find songwriters, you go and find producers, you go and find the studio.
But you got to shoot video and everything from that too?
Maybe even shoot video. It might be a part of that budget. Maybe not. You may have a separate budget for that, depending on the record, depending on your record deal. Because this is the age of the record deal, right? So you're signing these things, right? So depending on how your record deal is shaped, but out of that record deal that you get an advancement to create the record, to bring to the label, in order for the label to now sell and distribute, right? So with that being said, $250,000 has been spent as the creation. You may have spent maybe $200 out of that on the actual record itself, and the $50,000 you got to floss a little bit, but you still owe the $250,000, right? Now you recoup that. In the recoupment stage, you're getting a percentage of your work, whether that be maybe a 2.5%, 5%, 2.5%. That is a percentage of the record sale itself. The record sale being, if your record is maybe $10, right? You're getting 0.25 from that $10. Quarter, right? So that 0.25 of the $10 that you're getting from the album sale, you don't get that right away. That goes into your recoupment, because you still gotta pay back the $250,000 that you borrowed.
Yikes!
To get to the point of the record sale, right? So. Yeah, this is the long breakdown, but I gotta break it down for us to understand what's happening. You understand? Yeah. So you gotta recoup that $250,000 from that 2.5% of that $10 of each album that you sold, right? Now, a lot of these artists back in the day signed 3 to 4 album deals. You understand? Okay, so
the recoupment thing is kind of a lot more.
That recoupment deal. If you're an artist like a Beyonce, you might recoup that because you may sell, hundreds of thousands of records.
Yeah, double, triple platinum.
Triple platinum.
Right.
So you've recouped that. Not only have you recouped that, now that 2.5%, now that's money in your pocket because you've already paid that off that loan.
You paid it back.
You paid that loan back. You understand? So now that's you going forward. You understand? You're living off of your proceeds at that point. You understand? But let's face it, not everybody's a Beyonce. So out of that 250,000, you may have only recouped back 150,000.
Okay.
So you're still owing 100,000.
Right.
Right? But you signed a 4-album record deal. So now it's time for your next album, right? They give you another $250,000 advance. But it's not really a $250,000 advance because you owe $100,000 from the last album.
Right.
So that $200,000 that they gave you is on top of that $100,000. So now you owe $350,000. So you, on your second album, you're looking to recoup not only the $250,000 that you made, that you took in advance for this album, but the $100,000 that you still have left owing from the first album.
Jeez.
You understand? So, as somebody who signed to the label, if you're not a mega star, you may end up owing.
You're mega fucked.
Yes, you mega up the ass with a glass dildo, right?
Yeah, pretty much. No lubrication, man.
This is it.
See, I'm glad the breakdown and stuff is coming down because even to a person like me who's not in the industry and stuff, whatever.
Right.
Me, I just see it and stuff. I'm like, I kind of know that they owe the money, but I didn't know like how. Cause remember, this is pertaining to like if a deal would have went like how you're saying, but there's even worse deals than that.
So as an independent, you stood better. Right?
But your promotion will be lacking.
But everything else is like, because you don't have the type of money that it takes to compete with majors. Mm-hmm. Right? Now, I say that to say this. All that has changed with the advent of streaming. Mm-hmm. And with the advent of Apple, the advent of Spotify, the advent of SoundCloud, because now you do not need a major to give you the, and not only with saying that, but the advent of technology has taken the studios where you have to go spend hundreds of thousands of dollars with to go make your studio recordings have now shrunk to bedroom studios where you only pay hundreds of dollars with to create your final product with. So from a standpoint, it's no longer expensive for the independent artist to create the music for one, right? And not only is it no longer expensive for the individual artist to create the music, one, but two, now the promotion of the said music, you don't really need the machine behind you to promote that. All you really need is your handy gift of social media or somebody who knows how to work social media for you to direct the people who you would traditionally need the majors to direct to your music. No, you just need a social media platform to direct people to your SoundCloud.
But don't they got those people and stuff? I see them all the time on the gram, whatever.
Wait,
go ahead.
But hold on. But with that being said, right now, that 2.5 that you were getting with the record labels, right?
Increase?
Social media only wants to give you 0.00025. So, with the record labels, we're selling 100,000 records, would have netted you more profit that you would have, if in turn probably would have had to give forward back to the record labels to recoup. That same 100,000 impressions or streams, it's not getting you nowhere near that money you would have made, because the streaming game has made recuperation or has made money in your pockets that much less. So you actually now have to do that much more marketing in terms of getting the numbers to justify.
I feel like that would be to me, if I'm going to choose between the two,
yes,
I feel like the streaming aspect, whatever.
Yes.
If you're willing to put the footwork in, back to the grind,
it works.
You can win.
It works for you. It most definitely works for you because nobody's taking a piece of pie that you've created.
Right, understand? And all you have to do is say like, yo, once you got your streams or your analytics up, your numbers and stuff at a decent level, and you got a set club venue, be like, yo, these are my numbers as if I do on a reg. What's happening? I want to come here, do a little 1-2 songs, and make this money.
But as much as we got hip to the game as independent artists. Mm-hmm. Majors got hip to the game. You understand?
Well, yeah, they not sleeping.
So
but
majors,
the main step is to be at least 2 steps ahead of them.
2 steps ahead of them. You understand? But we gotta understand that you're playing with the majors. So even with your 2 steps ahead, it's always the resources and the money backing the resources. You understand? So if you look at now, for instance, Spotify. At one point, a lot of the majors had shares in Spotify.
Yeah.
Because they understood where that was going. So with having shares in Spotify, you can almost dictate the market or whatever foothold you have in the market becomes that much more important. Mm. So now you reestablish yourself as a player in that market. So now people are thinking, shoot, I blew up big as an independent, but I can get so much further now if I partner up with these majors. Mm-hmm. Now, with that being said, your position is that much better because you've already established yourself as an artist. Whereas prior, years before when we were talking about, and record labels came out and they made stars. They didn't look for stars. They said this person has a potential to be a star. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna do the A&R and develop this person into the stars. Right. That nowadays that whole A&R development aspect has been removed. You as an artist you're responsible for that. You got to make yourself that potential star where the artist looks at. Okay, out of they're no longer looking for the diamond in the rough. Yeah. They're looking for the diamonds to just now pull. And say, I'm going to make money with this diamond. Mm. The rough part you've already taken care of.
Yeah, I get you. I understand it better now. I see it.
That was like to get to your... I kind of felt like I had to give you that background of where we're coming from.
But no,
for you to kind of get that understanding of where
But even the listeners
now.
And stuff, even the listeners probably don't know and stuff, whatever, right? It might be a percentage that know, and percentage that don't know and stuff, whatever. And it's kind of like now, I feel like you gotta respect both artists and stuff, whatever. Yeah. Like I guess the streamer, and then the record deal dude. But you gotta know for a fact that you're gonna feel sorry for one more than the other.
Well, and because a lot of people might be wondering why are people in this day and age still signing with majors. Well, they're signing with majors because they don't want to be involved with the groundwork of doing that groundwork of, being on social media. The majors have a strong team. They pay people an enormous fee to do that sort of shit.
Well, yeah, because they pay like record radio stations and stuff to play the tracks.
Well,
and all
you
that
think
type
about
of
it as an independent, you have to have the resources because they have now moved into that game. So you have to have the resources to compete with them. Yeah. Sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't. You understand? Sometimes it's organic for you, sometimes it's not organic for you, and you have to really get behind it. You have to really make that push.
The world works on not what you know, it's about who you know.
Oh, there you go.
6 degrees of separation, right?
Yeah. Sometimes even less.
Yeah, valid. Very valid.
Sometimes even less. All right, let's go. What we got?
All right. Our condolences from the Podical Sons to the Thousand Oaks people.
Yes.
Those victims and stuff, and the families that have been affected. We talked about the synagogue shooting and the shootings and stuff, whatever, in just America alone, but even the worldwide and stuff, whatever, these mass shootings. Yeah. They're getting out of hand. should we start being jaded to the shootings that we see in the media? Like, I feel like these things are help desensitizing us to a level where if it happens, we're like, oh, another one. Khaled style. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or, I mean, should we still really be compassionate? Because, I mean, if we came to a point where, remember, like, a few years ago, it was pray for Paris. You know, we're going to pray for Paris. We're going to pray for London, whatever. All our prayers ain't really stopping this shit.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, should we start feeling jaded to this thing now, whatever? Or what do you think is the solution to this? I go back to a Chris Rock joke and stuff, whatever, because I always use it as a reference. Like I think it was a Bigger and Blacker.
Yeah. When
he said they need to make bullets and stuff that are way more expensive. And they made a bullet and stuff like $300 and stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
Motherfucker would think twice, because he'll look and pull the gun out and stuff. He's like, I would shoot you, but it ain't payday yet.
And I think with me, what it boils down is overall exposure. I mean, and there's something to say with too much exposure to what's happening, but
it kind of kills. It numbs us.
Yeah. If you know what I mean, it'll numb us. Too much exposure will runs the risk of numbing us. But then, without the exposure, it doesn't give to the awareness. And I think without the awareness, it's hard to change things. Like it has we literally, I think, it's sad because we should have already come to the point where we say enough is enough. We've seen enough of it.
Right.
You understand? But we're a society where if it's not in our face tomorrow, we only remember it today.
True.
You understand? And then we're on to the next, especially with so much information that's being fed to us nowadays. It's so hard to keep up with what's happening now, because as soon as we're focusing on what's happening now, something else happens.
Yeah.
So
our attention spans are going to shit.
It's going to shit. So I think stuff like this, we gotta kind of keep it in the awareness to the point where it just gets to the point where it's just too much in the awareness and we're tired of it. And these laws that we keep speaking about, these things that we keep saying that we're trying to do, we actually just get fed up of saying it and actually doing it. Mm-hmm. Because until we actually do it, nothing's going to change.
Yeah. Yeah.
You understand? And that it's sad to say, you know, we don't want to see it, but think about it. Until this shooting that we've actually brought up and mentioned, how much of our listeners remember the last shooting?
Yeah, that's fucked up. You're right. Because before the synagogue thing, I gotta put in thought just to even know for a fact like which one came up before that.
But it's human nature. We're bombarded with so much of our own personal problems are things that we try to resolve, right?
Right.
Much less the things that happen day to day outside of what we're thinking. Do you even remember what happened last week?
I had a piece of toast.
I had a piece of toast. Jelly and jam, man. You the man. You thought you thinking how damn this jelly tastes good. This toast tastes good.
It was phenomenal, man.
It was good with the world.
It was phenomenal to me. To the wife, it was too sweet. She said to fuck around and gave her a cavity messing with it, but it was banging.
So and that's it. It is what it is. Yeah, I mean we can bring these topics up as much as we want to, and as long as something else happens tomorrow, the focus shifts from it. Mm-hmm. You know, unless we say, look, enough is enough. And I'm tired of hearing people saying enough is enough and not acting upon it, because it seems like every incident that happens is enough incident, but then something else happens right after it.
Yeah, like I'm saying, I feel like the rhetoric and stuff, whatever, like the talk and stuff is there, but I don't know if it's the copycat syndrome coming up and they feel like, yo, this is how you make a point across and everything like that, because I'm still trying to digest like the whole like the Dylan Roof situation with the people in the church. You know what I'm saying? Like they were just minding their business in a place of worship. But I feel like I don't know. I'm feeling mixed and stuff about the situation and stuff for there because I feel like these dudes and stuff that are doing the shooting and stuff like that. The guy in the grocery store who killed the 2 black people. I feel like they do these things stuff when they know people ain't really packing nothing, whatever, you know, like
right.
Some coward type shit.
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure like they won't walk up in Chirac like that.
Listen, I think this topic came up in one of my Facebook feeds maybe a week or 2 ago, and my post was this. When you catch the person who has done this horrific crime, I don't want to hear nothing about no jail time. I don't want to hear nothing about no due process in court.
Execution.
There is guilty is sin. There's nothing that you can say. There's no need for court. What I need to see, because we know stuff like this, somebody sees it, somebody thinks about it, what happened, what was the consequences, what was the outcome. Then we get copycats. You understand? Or then we get somebody who could get me have the dead stuff. No. Listen. I want the message to be sent out. When you get caught, you're going to the town square. We're bringing back the town square. You understand? And the punishment, the execution punishment, is going to be so excruciating, so painful. So deliberately that whoever's watching and thinking of a copycat gonna have this image of what's going to happen to them when we catch them.
Well, yeah.
Then I added to the post that we're going so far as selecting 1 or 2 family members. Cause you should have checked up on your crazy ass cousin, uncle, or auntie to make sure, hey, everything's still good with you? Everything. Listen, we all know there's somebody that we need to check upon and making sure that there's something is okay with them. A lot of these people that are committing these crimes and shit ain't got nobody checking up on them.
Yes.
Before it gets to this point.
You're right.
Before it got to... I haven't heard anybody say, listen, you know what? I kind of looked at the homeboy and said something was wrong with them.
Something's off balance.
Let me just go ahead and check. We need to start hearing from these people we haven't heard from in a while and making sure, listen, is something still okay with you?
Yeah.
So maybe bringing some of these family members to account.
I bet you they be on their due diligence.
Listen.
I bet you they be on their shit. Because I know for a fact if I had a crazy cousin Louis or something in the corner and they're like, oh, you about to be held accountable for him. Like, Louis, hey, don't be on that bitch.
I'm about to
Let's
be
go to
held
Starbucks.
accountable for Crazy Louis because Crazy Louis might snap and take off 4 or 5 people. Listen, I'm going to go check up on Crazy Louis. And if I can't handle the situation, I'm going to tell authorities. Listen.
We going to Starbucks, Louis.
I got a cousin. He ain't really too up, and I'm on the side of prevention. Maybe you might want to check up on cousin Louis. I'll have to ride on cousin Louis because you know what? Riding on cousin Louis may save somebody that grief. You get what I'm saying?
Save the masses for some
You
grief.
get what I'm saying? If everybody's on that type of thinking, where listen. I might kill a couple people, but you know what? They gonna rip out all my toenails.
Well, Louis
and
might get you.
for a week.
The funny thing is, Louis might get you if it be like that. Cause think about look at the Sandy Hook shit with the dude he killed his mom.
Yeah.
And before he went to go shoot the school up, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I was looking at that, and I was scratching my head. I was like, well, the mom got it and stuff, and she's probably like the one saying like, you know, you're not too 100 up there, and he probably just ta-da.
Certain situations, I'm pretty sure that we can't avoid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is.
But you gotta put your best foot forward.
But you gotta put your best foot forward. You understand? Dylan Roof. How many people really had a discussion with that kid before he did what he did? How many really? You know what I mean? This dude was one of those kids who was by himself. How much friends did he really have? You understand? If listen, parents, if you know you got a child and they ain't got much friends, you gotta ask them. Yo, why you friends?
You gotta question something.
You gotta question something.
Because I might look at that. That might be the person that might want to microwave a cat. You know, like on on the low.
Listen,
so I might want to bring him to the forefront.
Questioning some things, man. They just ain't quiet for no reason. They just say that, and they're not just hiding in themselves for no reason, man. There's a lot of deep stuff going that we really gotta think about.
All right. So let me ask you this. I don't know if you've seen that video and stuff, whatever, that's been flying around on social media with the teacher beating the brake pads off this kid.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it for sure.
To the listeners that might have not seen the video, there's a teacher. His name is Marstan Riley. Mm-hmm. He got into an incident with a younger student, a student of his, and he put the hands on him. He put the paws on little dude. Let him know his place. Granted, little dude and stuff, whatever, threw something. He threw a ball at him, and the teacher Mr. Riley told him to leave the class, and he got into Mr. Riley's face. And Mr. Riley then proceeded by putting the hands on him and stuff and beating the brake pads off him and everything. He was fired. He was suspended immediately after the situation, but then they created a GoFundMe page for him, and at the time right now, he posted bail and then received $100,000 on his GoFundMe page.
Right.
My question to you is, who is right and who is wrong?
See, this is...
You know these kids today, boy.
This and this is why I say this is a tricky one for me. You understand? Because I'm 44. I'm gonna be 45 next year. Mm-hmm. So I grew up in the old school mentality, and with that being said, it's funny because in public school I've never witnessed any physical discipline, right?
Okay.
Although in the office, I did see the paddle hang up. the paddle was
I seen it in elementary.
Yeah,
the
paddle was hung up.
I see elementary
in elementary school, but I've never seen it
in emotion
in use. You understand? My first experience with physical discipline within the school was my second visit to Jamaica. I was about 5 years old at the time, and I went to school. I went to school with my aunt. My aunt was a teacher. I have a few aunts that and uncles that taught within the school system.
Okay.
But I followed my aunt one day to school, and she had taught school, and I had witnessed discipline in the form of a ruler slap on the hand. Now this threw me back, because again, I'm coming from
Canada,
a Canadian school system where at this point, even though I seen the paddle hung up in the principal's office, they probably have done away with disciplinary actions in that sense within the school system. Mm-hmm. You understand? Okay. So, at that point, with that being said, even when I'm in Jamaica, this was nothing that was frowned upon at that point in that day and age. It was something that was looked at as a form of correction. just as any form of physical discipline within the home was looked at as a form of correction.
Today.
Not today. Not for a long, long, long time. So we're going back to now when I'm saying as in my public school, there was I never seen physical discipline. Even though the paddle was hung up in the offices, it was more of probably a symbolization of times past. But you know what I mean? Of times past. What we used to do.
When we used to fuck kids up, this was our trophy.
This is what we used to do. Be thankful that we talk to you now before we used to paddle your ass.
Right. Okay.
Type of deal. You understand?
Right.
So, now, with that being said, you know, let's look at discipline on a whole, right? So they removed discipline from the school system. I would have to say, I'm entering school at the age of 5. That would put me in 1979, 1980. So from my experience starting school then, within the Canadian system, which I would consider to be the North American system, not knowing how the states would operate, and not knowing if
I knew a teacher that slapped somebody.
Well, I'm not saying if this holds true throughout the entire system, but my experience, physical discipline has not been in schools from 1980. What I'm looking at, you understand? From my experience. It may not have been totally eradicated from all schools in North America, but at least within the school that I started out in, it was no longer part of that, right? So now you have the only discipline that you have as far as children being disciplined physically is within the home.
Right.
Right? That continued. Right? That continued, I want to say, probably maybe a few years after it was removed from the schools. They started telling parents that they're no longer allowed by law to physically discipline their children.
I know in America we had a phone number called 696 Kids.
Where?
And you dialed that number and stuff, whatever, and you say like, yo, your parents just slapped the shit out you and everything, and Popo be coming at your door.
Right. So this is when we're talking. This is an onset from early. So I'm throughout my junior high years, it's already been known that, listen, your parents can no longer lay a hand on you to discipline you. Okay, so now we're setting the stage that.
But how does that shit work for Jamaican parents?
Listen, I don't know, and again, I'm this is all within the context of the North American system. I don't know how it was. It may just be finally reaching out there. They may be still strapping kids with
Jamaica.
hands.
I'm talking about the parents from Jamaica in North America. They probably still fucking their kids up because I still got slapped.
Well, this is the whole thing. You understand? Within this being instituted as law, we still had, and I wouldn't just regulate it to just a West Indian background. You understand? Because I'm pretty sure from maybe a European background standpoint,
they about that life.
Anyone who you would consider to be outside of a North American system, immigrating into a North American system. Because I think at this point, it was something that was just being... And I may be wrong, you understand? We're not lawyers, we're the Podical sons, but I'm just going from my insight. Maybe this might have been something that was just, start off as a North American thing. So people from outside of North America, coming from Europe, still had this notion of disciplining your kids. Came with a good beating. You understand?
Let me ask you this real quick. From grade school, so we're saying from kindergarten till 12th grade.
Right.
Whatever, right?
Yeah.
How many ass whoopings you received from your parents?
No, whatever. I was always a good kid. So
Motherfucker.
I can recall.
Yeah.
I can recall a good ass.
I was a good kid.
Listen, I'm gonna be straight up. I'm a punk. I'm afraid of ass whooping. So the first ass whooping I got set my ass straight.
You didn't need to go on Scared Straight or beyond Scared Straight.
There was no need for an ass whooping after the first ass whooping I got. The first ass whooping I got, it was like, this shit hurt. How do I avoid ass whooping? Oh, be good? And I ain't gotta get out. Oh, okay. So I only recall about one. There may be more. That might have slipped my memory, but I only recall a one ass whooping. You understand? Okay. So I was off the ass whooping train from early. It did its job. It did its job for me. Wow. I don't know about any other kid out there.
I guess it didn't sink in on my ass till I was in high school. When I was in high school,
some of y'all needed a little bit more, the extra ass whooping to get shit set straight.
Me, not really, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had a fighter, salute to the moms and everything and stuff, whatever. And put it like this. I had one of those moms and stuff, whatever, that if you kind of huff and puff when she was talking, she put the pause on you. Because she's thinking like, oh, is that back talk? And then there it goes.
Here's the thing when the ass whooping was about, because exactly what I just said to you, right? This was the thing for, regular kids, normal kids. You know what I mean?
Normal.
To get the one ass whooping and realize what the ass whooping was all about. And then correct the ways. I mean, we had the kids that, the multiple ass whooping it took. And even with the multiple ass whooping, ways still couldn't be corrected. But usually, a good ass whooping set you straight.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Usually.
Yeah, no, because I mean,
ass whooping set you straight.
I'm not saying I got consecutively whooped, because I want to say, if we're looking at grade school type of shit, I want to say I probably got, like, 4 ass whoopings.
But okay, let me ask you something.
All right.
Those 4 ass whoopings, were they all for the same thing?
No.
It was a different ass whooping for a different thing, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm guaranteed you learned the lesson from the first ass whooping.
Well, I learned the lesson from all them shits.
Okay, but this is what I'm saying. It only takes one ass whooping for you to learn that lesson. So it's not like, you know what I mean, it was a constant beating about to correct kids. No,
but they used to beat with the syllables and everything. Like, didn't I tell you not to?
Listen, all form of discipline, we can debate how the discipline happened, but the discipline happened for a purpose, right?
Right.
Okay, with that being said, it happened from not only from a West Indian standpoint, because us who know of the West Indian culture would like to always say it from that point of view.
Right, that POV.
And we always look at North American culture to be that non-disciplinary
down
hold on.
Okay.
Not that non-disciplinary view, but we forget that not everybody's from this North American culture. We have, other than West Indian, we have Europeans who had that disciplinary view. You understand? So they've been beating their kids too. You understand?
Fair.
And you have somebody within the North American culture that continue to beat their kids, even though the law said no, it's illegal for you to beat your kids. We gonna discipline our kids how we see fit,
man.
Right? Here's the problem.
That kid was the problem on that video.
Okay, we're getting there.
Okay.
So here's the problem now. So now when somebody put an ass whooping to the kid. The kid said, "Wait a sec. I used to have to take this ass whooping, but I ain't got to take this ass whooping no more."
696 kids.
I can call the police on my kids. So kids started calling police on their kids for the ass whooping. So now that put the fear to the parents. The parents would be like, shit. Man, I really gotta, you know what I mean? Whereas before I would have whipped my kids. No, I don't give a shit about no law, this, that. Oh shit, they really calling the popo on us for beating them. So now that put the fear into the parents for disciplining the kids. I'm getting to my point now.
All right, I'm listening.
You understand?
I'm listening.
This put the fear in the kids from a disciplinary standpoint. You understand? So ain't nobody beating these little rude asses. Not the teachers, not the parents, right? We're instructed to talk things through, right? Have a discussion.
I don't like to talk too much.
Listen,
only on the Podical side.
I'm going to tell you something, man. Talking only goes so far and only goes certain distances with some of these kids. You understand?
Yeah.
And we've gone so far in society where the fear of kids from authority is so far removed, because words can only affect so much. Words at some point will hurt till they no longer hurt.
Okay.
You understand? When they no longer hurt, they're ineffective. You understand? So now we're in an age where, dude, so much things are bombarded at these kids that words are ineffective. Right?
Okay.
Discipline has long gone been effective because we've already removed that.
Right.
And we've empowered them with the knowledge that you will lay a hand on me, you have the problem, not I. You understand?
So yeah, the teacher did lose his job.
So listen, so they're embrazened with this knowledge. You get me?
That's why they can talk and deal with the teachers.
This is why they can talk and deal with the teacher any way if and possible, because my parents don't have the authority
to tell me to shut the fuck up.
They can tell me whatever they want,
but
words mean nothing. Words are ineffective. And if you can't beat me to shut up, damn, who else? Yo, wait. You know who does have the authority to beat your kids and tell them to shut up?
Oh.
The police. The police can beat your kids black and blue and tell them to shut up, and they don't need to worry about facing any consequences. Only the law and authority can do it.
Well, okay.
Hold on, this is the problem, because our kids are out there fearless to everybody else.
Right.
Thinking that they can be fearless to the law and authority.
Oh, he getting on the soapbox.
That's where that buck stops.
Mm-hmm.
That's where that buck stops. You get me?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get back to the teacher. Let's get back to the situation. Let's get back to the fact that these kids know that is disrespectful that they are to be to these teachers. They can't. These teachers can't do anything physical to them. These, you know, there's nothing that these teachers can do a thing. So okay, so now we set the scene now for this transgression. What the transgression didn't show you in the videotape was the student throwing the ball. Right? Because what we have to understand is nobody is sitting readily with their phone camera to record anything. But they have their phone on deck. You understand? So, now, think about it. You're a student in the classroom. This other student is being disrespectful in the most sort of way, right?
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Has this ball and throws it at the teacher, right? All of a sudden now, everybody in the classroom is in a woo moment, right?
Hype it up. Yeah.
Within this woo moment, we've been media trained that this woo moment is also a world star moment. Yeah. You understand? So during this woo moment, the phones come out.
Right.
They start recording. They not recording what got you to this point. They're recording from that woo moment on.
Yeah.
So now this is where the stuff starts to look ridiculous, because now things are, you don't have the contents, you don't have the context of what you're now witnessing. Because I kid you not, Marv, I know I witnessed it, but before we started discussing this whole thing about it's going to be a topic, I did not know the kid threw the ball.
Oh.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So here's the context.
Right.
I already knew that teacher lost his mind over something.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what it was, but I knew for the teacher to behave the way he behaved, he lost his mind over something. You understand? So now here it is. We got to the point. This kid threw this ball at the teacher, knowing that this teacher could not, or from the standpoint of the law, cannot physically do anything to him.
Right.
How do we know this? Because after he threw the ball, he continued to be disrespectful. And what did the teacher say?
Leave my classroom.
And what was his response was?
Make me.
Okay. Make me. I already know it's against the law for you to make me. Make me. I'm taunting you. Mm-hmm. At this point, not only am I being disrespectful, and we got to look at the context. You know what I mean? This could be day 1 of the disrespectfulness. This could be day 55 of the disrespectfulness. We don't know. All we know is what we're viewing from this point after the disrespectfulness has occurred.
Cat Williams said, he's like, you always put a real nigga in some real life situations. It's kind of like a tiger. When you have the tigers and stuff in the cage, he's in a fake environment, just kind of being calm. Just like he's stuck, he's questioning some things. Yeah. Until he's put into a real life situation when that cage goes open. And he knows that this is not a drill. It's about to go down. That teacher went off on him ferocious. Like any terrific tiger I done seen. The Siegfried and Roy's to all the escape ones and stuff, whatever. Teacher was the same damn way. And he let loose a fury on that kid. And
this is it. And when I look at it, I'm like, you know, I'm seeing the comments, and the comments are of a mixed nature. You have the people, well, you know, I mean, the teacher shouldn't have lost his cool. He should have been trained. He's no better than that. You understand? Yeah. And then I see the parents.
Are you for or against?
Listen. I'm for keeping your restraint. Mm-hmm.
You want to get all PC on it? Don't get PC on it.
Hold on. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm cool with keeping your restraint. You understand?
Right.
But I can't tell you, and if I was put in that situation, that I would have not acted like how that teacher reacted.
Okay.
I can't honest to God sit down here in front of this microphone and tell you. You understand?
Right.
Because again, I don't know the train of thought that teacher was in or how much he had to put up with at that point. All I can tell you is what I seen was a man frustrated.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Frustrated to the point where his mind just lost any other sense of ability other than to do, I'm going to beat this kid either senseless or beat sense into him.
Right.
Is the only other two outcomes for this to really go down at this point.
Right.
You understand? So, man, I can't pass it. And again, you know, I mean, what people are saying, he shouldn't have been. There was equal amounts of parents saying, listen, if that was my son and he was disrespectful for the teacher, I would have stood aside and let the teacher beat some sense in his ass too. And then when he came home, I would have put my own set of beating on him to put that sense in his ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it is what it is. And under the same token, when we talk about that,
yeah,
you know, a couple weeks later, I see another one of this, you know, this girl
Sharkeisha Jr.
You know what I mean? But, you know, teach her a Tyson in your hand.
Man, that teacher's wig got rocked. I swear the wig had like a 360 and stuff, whatever. But the teacher, she was calm and docile.
And I'm saying to myself, that was a situation where that ass would have been thrown.
Yeah, man. Quick. That's a salute to the teachers out there. You guys are underpaid and underrespected, all of that type
you
of stuff.
hit me like Tyson, I don't care who you, I'm fighting you like Tyson.
Yeah. You can't, man. That's the thing. And that's why I'm like, when somebody asked me if I was for or against that and stuff, whatever, I'm like, yo, if the parents ain't put a stop to him and stuff, whatever, to that kid, and the parents never turned him over to the authorities and everything, does that make it okay for the kid to keep turning on and stuff and going on like that?
Hit me like Tyson, I'm gonna fight you like Tyson. That's that.
Straight good.
That's it. Yeah, that's not it.
Who you can? Yo, you get one. You getting one. You get one.
Well, that teacher, he laid a couple, so.
When somebody was saying stuff like, I guess like that is part of like that's how millennials get down. All right, put like this. I just figured out the stuff the other day that I classify as a millennial. Millennial range and stuff, whatever, is the birth range is from 1981 to 1996.
Really?
That was the range and stuff that they put up and stuff, whatever. Like I seen it from like multiple like outlets stuff, whatever.
So, okay, so we're
any kids after 1996, like 1997 till now, is considered the new generation. That's the name and stuff, whatever.
So what's the what is the, because before the millennials we would consider the Y2 the
Generation Y.
Yeah, the Generation Y. So what does that span?
The Generation Y are the millennials though. So you talking about Generation X?
They just rebranding.
You talking about Generation X?
So Generation X is everything before the millennials. Okay.
Before, yeah.
So then I would qualify as a Generation X?
Correct.
Okay.
You'll be a Generation X and stuff, whatever. And then anything after 1997 till now, that's new generation or Generation Z.
Right.
Because we're Generation Y, like, you know, Y2K, millennial.
Yeah.
So that's what it is and stuff, whatever, for us and everything. Right? And I thought like even like this kid situation would have been more of a millennial type of thing and stuff, but I'm like, he looks younger.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but millennials and stuff have other issues and everything and stuff too. And then somebody was talking and stuff. We were in conversation. I was talking to one of my boys, and he said, "Well, millennials, our issues and stuff, whatever, is not really the disrespectful thing. Is kind of like we're just kind of let down." So I'm like, "What do you mean being let down?" He said that he felt like when he was younger, his mom used to tell him you can be anything in the world and stuff, whatever you can be and everything, and he fell short on that mark.
Right.
So he said now he fell short on that mark and stuff, whatever. Where is he turned and stuff, whatever. So I'm like, well, don't blame your mom and stuff for that, whatever. But he's like, that's how so many of the kids and stuff was raised. And he asked me, he's like, were you raised like that? You could be anything in the world you want to be?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. He's like, well, that's our issue. So he's like, that's part of the reason why the depression and all that type of stuff kicks in for like the millennials, or millennials feel like entitled to some things because I guess we were raised to a certain standard. And then we fell short on the mark and stuff, whatever.
Right.
This is where part of that depression shit comes from. Do you agree?
I agree. Maybe somewhat, and I say that because in this day and age, it's still to me a matter of you can be whatever you want to be.
I want to be a Tyrannosaurus Rex. No, I'm just fucking around.
But I say that because
the trans peoples out here. What, is that what?
Not only that, because but you're born with certain aspirations.
Fair,
right?
Yeah.
You understand? And you're either going to discover your purpose, or your purpose is going to find you.
Right.
Right? Now, and those who discover their purpose, you're either going to discover early or later in life.
Right.
Those who purpose finds them, it's either going to find you early or later in life.
Right.
Right? But we don't know what it is. we can only go off of what our instinct is and what our passions are to kind of mold us, kind of give us a direction of where we want to go in life. You understand?
That's not partially parenting too?
Partially parenting, but within that scope, right? Mm-hmm. You're trying to figure out what it is that you're going to be, what your purpose is going to be going forward. You understand? Mm-hmm. So I think for me, part of that is you have the expression to be whoever or whatever you want to be. Right. It's up to you at that point now to figure out what it is.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, we have the potential to be all or whatever we want to be. Wherever or whenever that potential is realized, that's a different question. Mm-hmm. You understand? If you may never realize that potential and end up being something totally different due to circumstances, due to how how the things work out. You may not achieve that goal of being who you want to be, right? Mm-hmm. Now, in regards to the millennials.
Oh, hold on. Let me say this. Since I found out I was a millennial, I'm going to support them to the fullest extent. Whoa, whoa. We in here like swimwear.
Now, in the regards to the millennials, I think within the millennials, I think the problem is you're part of the information age.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Absolutely.
My age, what I'm coming up in, I'm coming up in the industrial age. Mm-hmm. I'm right at right off the iron age. We're in the industrial age. Everything is industrial thinking, right?
Right.
So you have one of two aspects of life, right? It's your dreams of being whoever you want to be. Right?
Right.
And fulfilling that dream, right?
Right.
Or falling victim to the industrial age, right? Now, the industrial age is everything that we consider to be factory, a certain aspect of retail, anything that may follow in a certain structure,
right?
Where you're an employee. Right, you're part of that. You're part of that process. Mm-hmm. That's the industry. You're part of the industry. That's the industrial age, right? The problem I feel that the millennials have is they're part of the information age, right? So whereas my thinking is, I'm either gonna make my dreams happen and succeed in my dreams, or I'm falling into the work. Is that millennials have no clue. They're bombarded with so much things.
So you're saying we're not built to be factory workers because we got too much information.
Well, not only are you not built to be, there's so many. Not only are there so many different avenues that's available to you outside of the factory. They're just a factory working, right? Mm-hmm. How the world is set up. The world is set up still with the industrial, with still this industrial mindset. Mm-hmm. You understand? The information is only going to be good for about a few. Only a few are going to be able to utilize this information.
True.
Right?
See it?
And even though only a few, many are privy to this information. Even us in the industrial age are rethinking, are reevaluating our lives within the industrial age, because there's this new information age that's abound us, right? So you're thinking about these kids who are now in the information age,
we're eating better, and we're doing a lot better things and stuff for the body wise and everything compared to, like, I guess your generation, right? I think your generation's trying to play catch up to the cause they want to live.
Listen, you're eating better, right?
Right.
You have a better health situation, right? You're living longer. But
with
guess
no jobs.
What? But guess what?
With no jobs.
With no jobs.
Well, I'm
right?
gonna start stripping, man. Fuck the dumb shit and make sure my body is on point.
You have all this knowledge, all this health above you, but you can't see where you're gonna land.
Stripping. Any extra dough, invest in hoeing.
Well, here's the thing. I'm already, and I look at it from this standpoint, right? Because I'm working now, and if I'm working now, and I'm working in an industrial setting, right? But within that, I keep in mind how technology and everything is advancing, right?
Right.
For instance, I'm coming from the auto sector.
Okay.
Right? There's jobs in the manufacturing plant, that are being done by robots now. Right. That humans were doing.
Fact. It's fact.
Fact, right? Yeah. There's certain jobs in the factory right now that are not being done by humans because not being done by robots, because it still takes a certain type of finessing that only a human can do. Right?
Right.
As soon as they can fix that, solve that problem,
it's a wrap.
It's a wrap for a human doing that job, because a robot can do that job more efficiently. Right. You understand? So, me being within that industrial age is looking at that as, okay, how long am I in the industrial age for before I retire, right?
Right.
And within that time frame, is there a chance of a robot replacing the job that what I'm doing? You understand?
Gotcha.
You understand? Because if there's a chance, that might happen before I finish out my work in the industrial age. But guess what? It's no longer available for those who are in the information age.
Yeah, because that's already said and done.
It's gone.
Said and done.
A robot has taken care of that.
R2D2 got that ass.
So, no longer are there jobs in the future. There'll be even less jobs in the future. Think about that. So now you're really in a bind. The information age has to carry you far past the information. You have to figure out what's happening, or at least how to assimilate into the factories working alongside robots. And there's gonna be few people in the factories working alongside robots. It is what it is.
Do you feel like you were born in the wrong time, since that you're Generation X and I'm a millennial? Do you feel like that? Me, I feel like that because I feel like because I'm a millennial, I miss freaknik. I always seen old VHSs and stuff, whatever, of back then when there was no Me Too movement, and I just seen women just kind of shaking the titties and all that type of stuff, whatever, out there in Atlanta like it was nothing. I was like, man, when I grow up, I'm gonna go to freaknik. And then when I grew up, freaknik was done. That's illegal. It's all that. Shut it all down.
But here's the thing.
You feel like it was wrong time.
But here's the thing. You look at that, right?
Right.
Of missing out on freaknik.
Right.
Right? At the age of what age?
I was like 96, so say 6th grade, so 12.
Okay, so now when you're saying you're missing the time, you missed the time of freaknik.
Right.
Do you wish to miss that? I'm assuming that you wish that you didn't miss that time within your, let's say, your 19s and 20s.
No, I want to get in my 20s.
In between your 20s, right?
Yeah, my 20s.
Okay.
So I can buy liquor.
So think about that, right? So in your 20s, you're single and carefree. You're single and carefree stage, right?
Yeah. Shake what your mama gave ya, all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Think about that, right? Now think about this. Think about those who were in the freaknik in their 20s.
They all pastors now and converted to nuns, man.
Not only are they all pastors and converted to nuns and cleaned up, right?
Right.
But in order to enjoy what freaknik is and was, they had to be free and single and at freaknik.
Were they single though? I don't know.
Hold on. I'm saying that whether they were single or not.
Keep going with the train of thought.
Whether they were single or not.
Right.
20s, in that time of frame, mindset, being at freaknik, right? They had to be at freaknik to experience what freaknik is and what, right?
Obvious.
Okay. Now, picture that same person today, married with kids at the age of 40.
Right.
Looking at his phone, saying to himself, hot damn! I wish there was a Pornhub. I wish there was a Plenty of Fish.
Way back when.
I wish there was all this stuff when I was 20 back then. Because now, to them, it looks like, shit, this is the time to be in.
This is the time. That's what I'm saying. How do you feel? What time do you feel for you? Because like there had to be a time frame. Because like I said, with me, I'm like, damn, freaknik. I hear some of you guys talking about the old school Carabanas and everything, how they used to be wilder than this. Like, one it is now is PG-13. I'm like, I would love to see what it looked like back then. If titties and ass was out and stuff on a regular, and there's no Me Too charges handing out, whatever, sign me the fuck up for the time machine.
Yeah. But it's your matter of your matter of perspective and what age that you're in. Because if I've experienced that time, then I know what that time is. Right. I don't want to wish to be back at that time. I know what that time is. Yeah. You understand? Yeah. But I'm saying to myself now, shoot. I see all these people in their 20s and this and that and that. What if I was in my 20s right now, living in this day and age and time? You understand? Where I would have had to been at freaknik to meet a freak. Now, valid. Now,
for those at home listening, I am clapping.
Now I can go like this on my phone.
Tinder.
Scroll
and swipe right.
And have the freaks come to me. Think about that.
Come on, shake what your mama gave ya.
Think about that. So now the old school dudes is looking at you guys is like, shit, y'all have a good. You ain't know, man. You ain't know what we had to go through.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you're right.
Right?
Yeah, you valid. That's absolutely valid.
And then you have me.
Talk the things.
And then you have me who think of even simpler time. You understand? But then even when I think of an even simpler time now, it's like, okay, yeah, but even if I go back to that even simpler time, where do I land? Because I would have loved to live in the days of Egypt. Right?
Wow.
But when I think of a simpler time of that, right? Mm-hmm. Am I back there as a peasant?
Or a pharaoh?
Or am I back there living in the... I don't even have to be a pharaoh, but maybe I'm living in a royal palace. Maybe I'm someone of nobility.
And somebody's feeding you grapes and fanning.
You understand what I'm saying? Because a simpler... Think about that. We always think about, technology. But technology... What's technically advanced is only technologically advanced for that time.
But they didn't have shit what your mama gave you, though.
You understand? So whatever in Egypt was technologically advanced for that time was considered technology. So if you were rich and able to afford a horse and carriage, which would have been the carriage, may have been the technology of that time. Everybody else was walking. Right. You understand? Then you were with in the knowledge of all. But even with that being said, it was a simpler time. There was much freedom. You know what I mean? Even though it was a shag fest, you were a millionaire. You had maids, you had servants that were probably shagged you because you were who you were. You didn't need freaknik.
Oh, so yeah, pretty much.
Just off your novelty, but even not even off your novelty. A simpler time than that. What else did you have to distract you? What else did you have to do other than it's 12 o'clock? What do you want to do? All right, we ain't nothing to do. Let's shag. You shag. Yeah. Simpler times. You understand? See, it's weird when we pose that question because we can jump we can jump backward, we can jump forward, we can jump backwards. The only thing that we can't really think about is how would it be living in our time, because we're living in our time. We already know what it is.
True.
So we're gonna pick we're gonna pick something that's other than our time. We have that experience.
That's true. I 100% agree with that. But freaknik though, come on, man. Shake what your mama gave you. Yo, 2 Live Crew was popping, man.
2 Live Crew was popping, but you had somebody who's old right now reliving that 2 Live Crew and saying to myself, man, shoot, I would have way more bitches right now in my 20s right now with Tinder and Facebook and all that crap. It is what it is.
Yeah, you know that old pimp ass uncle with the ponytail and stuff, whatever, was kind of thin up there because all the hair fell out. Yeah.
Looking at you and saying, you look a whippersnapper. You didn't know I would. If I was you back in that day, fire.
Or STD, because he ain't believe in condom.
One of the two. Yo. Fire. And yeah, uncle, it might really be fire.
It might be fire. It might be that gonorrhea on that ass.
Light you up.
Yo, I don't know if you got wind of stuff, whatever, but let me say Spice. Female rapper Spice, you know, from loving hip hop and everything, you know, the controversial thing with the whole skin bleach and lightening thing for her new little EP album and everything and stuff, whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's not just her; it's around the world. It's a worldly thing and stuff, whatever. With the whole skin bleaching and skin lightening thing and stuff, whatever. I think people just focus and stuff, whatever. I want to say like black people tend to focus and stuff more on just the black culture and stuff. What happens around the world, like I seen a commercial. When I was looking up some stuff, whatever, I seen a commercial. There was an Indian commercial, and there was 2 guys, and the guy tried to pick up the girl. She just kind of gave looking like, she's not interested. And he went to his friend like, how come she doesn't like me? And the guy said, oh, it's not because of you, it's because of your skin.
Right.
So in a few seconds in the commercial, they show him rubbing in the damn skin cream and stuff, whatever, and then he was probably about 2 shades darker than Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And he went from looking like me to like that.
He went hit that lightastic. That lightastic did miracles for him.
It did wonders for him because on the back, at the end of the commercial, the girl's on the back of his motorcycle, ying, 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 off to the sunset.
That's that lightastic, man. That's that lightastic.
I was looking at it, I was like, yo, are you a fan of this skin bleaching thing? I mean, you dark like me.
Okay, jumping back to Spice. And that whole controversy, because it was funny. And again, this is what I say about the whole social media and the social media aspect, because I think it was maybe 1 or 2 people who had hit me up and the first thing that was out of their mouth was, "Is Spice bleaching?"
Everybody said that.
You understand? So
everybody's too quick to judge.
There goes the episode, too quick to judge. But when everybody said that, my first inkling was, I don't know. Is she bleaching? I don't know. But the instant connection with bleaching came to my head, and I know it's not beyond the Caribbean. It's not beyond Caribbean artists to bleach. You understand?
Right.
Vibes Cartel had cake soap.
Right.
You understand? So it's not beyond. You understand?
Right.
Now, this came as a shock because everybody was like, "Yo, what Spice? What they know Spice as?" And Spice is a beautiful dark skinned woman.
Yeah, she has songs about melanin and everything.
Songs about melanin and everything. So this was like almost like an uproar. So I was like, okay, this is. I don't know. So like later on the day now, I started seeing images popping up with Spice.
Right.
And she looking kind of brown. You know what I mean? She ain't looking like the dark skin spicy that I know. You know what I mean?
She looking like a Barbie doll.
Looking more cinnamonish. More lighter than cinnamonish.
Yeah, you're damn right. So, oatmeal without the cinnamon.
So I'm saying to myself now, okay, did she? So only to get to find out that she actually was in, and I'm going to use this term, light face, to illustrate what's been happening within the Caribbean, specifically in the island of Jamaica, and the whole bleaching aspect. So the song is actually, in reverence of her being proud of her black skin. But if she chose to make herself a lighter complexion, we shouldn't. First of all, it should be a matter of choice. But then, why are you choosing to be light skinned if you're choosing it from a reason other than you hate the skin that you're in? Then fine. But you're choosing it from the perspective that you hate black skin. Well, let me tell you why black skin is beautiful, and why you should reconsider the hating your black skin. So she wasn't really going against people who were lighting, giving themselves a lighter complexion. It was really, why are you giving yourself that lighter complexion? And if it's due to the fact that it's the colorism issue, you feel that light skinned people are better than black, then no, it's a psychological thing. You need to rethink that. But if that's, you just want light skin for the sake of wanting light skin, then hey, do you have light skin for the sake of having light skin? It's funny how it's funny with me even saying this. Yeah, almost brings us back to our last podcast where we were talking about the whole black face. Right. And white people who are getting these these dark color foundations to have this darker skin appearance. Right. Well, are you doing it because you want to have this dark skin appearance, or are you doing it for this whole blackface type of deal? You understand? So that was, I think, the kind of what Spice was getting at, as far as, how and why are you lightening your skin? But the main fact that this is even happening is something that's way deeper than just a Caribbean culture, and way deeper than something that's just happening today. You know what I mean?
Well, it's people though, man. It's a people thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're looking at it. We have artists have been singing about people bleaching their skin from way back, from I was coming up in my teens. So this is nothing new. I mean, there's a cream out there that I know of called Ambi. This was the original lightening cream, for those who may not know out there. Ambi got rid of blemishes. Was a cream that was to get rid of blemishes, dark spots. But people were using Ambi all over themselves just to get a lighter complexion. So this is something that has been going on from the dawn of time. If we look at the Asian culture, right? Even with the Asian culture, they have creams to lighten themselves. Yeah, you understand? So it's not just regulated.
I have friends and stuff, whatever, who are from Thailand. Yeah, right. And the girl, her sister and stuff is more fair skinned than her. But I told her and stuff, whatever, because she's darker skinned, I like her a lot more. The look wise, me. That's just me. Right. And she said, well, in her country, in Thailand, they will look at her as a field worker because she's more out in the sun. Unlike her little sister, who was kind of born here in Canada, who was lighter, she would be more treated like a goddess. Right. Because she's lighter. So that means she hasn't done field work or outside work and everything like that. So that's part of the reason why part of their culture and stuff, where it breaks their neck to do the whole bleaching thing and stuff as well. Right. Right. And it's crazy. It's crazy to me and stuff because maybe I watch some more Dove commercials, love the skin you're in. But I mean, hey, I was just taught like, yo, what you're blessed with, what you're blessed with, whatever. If you go under the knife or you go to the extremity, then clearly you're not comfortable and stuff with who you are.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's not to say that you're not comfortable. Maybe you just want to enhance. But there's a good portion of that time where.
What would you enhance on you?
I had thought about it. At one point,
you got 15 seconds to tell me.
At one point, I figured that if they can cut my femur bone and put like an extra inch or two in there to make me taller.
Woo! I do the same goddamn thing on top, man. That's what I'm talking about.
I was down for that.
That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about.
But then as I got older, I realized, yo, no, I'm still a man at my height. Yeah, and then I kind of, but that would have
probably been for me too.
Yeah. I mean, my femur bone, just cut the femur bone, throw an extra 2 or 3 inches inside the femur bone, bump me up a couple inches in height, and I would have been good with that.
Yeah. I can rock with that.
But eventually you get comfortable in the skin that you're in, and you realize people would accept you for who you are when you're comfortable in the skin that you're in.
That's valid.
As soon as you don't feel comfortable with who you are, it's hard for anybody else to feel comfortable with who you are. But as soon as you own it, man, that's all you really need to own it.
Love the skin you're in, man. I'm a fan of that.
I'm a fan of that too, man, and that's what it is.
All right, I don't know. There's a preacher in Atlanta. His name is Corey Lewis.
Okay.
Right?
What up, Lewis?
Corey Lewis. Yeah, salute to you.
Preacher.
You're a classy man.
Preacher man.
He was babysitting some white kids that go to his church. And the parents of the white kids, they know him as a pastor and they know he's a good dude and everything. So they have no problem and stuff, whatever, for him to take them out and about.
Yeah.
There was a white lady who seen the black man with the 2 white kids.
Right.
Asked him, went up and harassed him. Asked him first, what are you doing with these 2 white kids? So he said, I don't have to answer anything to you.
Yeah.
So then he said, you know what? Him and the girls are going to leave. They left.
Okay.
The lady hopped in her car and followed my man.
Oh, shit.
Followed him. Called the police. Eventually got pulled over before he made where he needs to go. He kept his phone out and recorded everything. And the cops asked questions and stuff. Are the kids comfortable back there and everything? He'd step out and have the kids step out the car. He's like, this is ridiculous and everything, right? You on the video and stuff out there, he was giving his, his retort to the whole situation.
Yeah.
And when they checked out everything was legit. The parents and stuff said yes. They called the kids' parents. Everything was all good. Everything was smooth. He brought it to the media and attention and stuff, whatever. I was going to ask you, can you do anything while black? Because if you can't babysit while black, you can't drive while black, what can you do while black?
And man, and here's the problem, because if it was 2 black kids, would she have even bothered?
No. Probably wouldn't have farted on him.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we making it the fact that these kids are white, that this man cannot be just out taking care? Why is the first thing that comes to your head is that
kidnapping?
It's kidnapping. And the funny thing is that she could have seen a white dude who's actually a kidnapper with those 2 children, and not even think of that.
Yeah.
That's how messed up society is. You understand? Where where somebody can see, because we know what happens. We know the kidnappers walking with these kids to the mall.
Yeah,
they go to the store, buy them candy and stuff like that. You understand? They've trained the kid already to be complacent. You understand? So the kid's not making any type of notice that they're kidnapped, right? They're complacent.
My mom told me I almost got kidnapped my damn self when I was little.
Well, think about it. So somebody's looking at that situation and they're not thinking of kidnapping, right?
Right.
Well, now here you have two white kids that are obviously they're complacent because they know the pastor.
Right.
They don't feel threatened in any way, and you know what I mean. Right. They're having a good time.
They're having a good time.
So here it is. You're watching two white kids who are complacent with this black man, but you still gotta assume because they're two white children, they couldn't be possibly just hanging with this black. Where are you kidnapping them? Where's he kidnapping them to bring them to?
I don't know.
And that's my next thing.
Or hold on.
Yeah.
Your single white apartment Annie type of thing again.
Yeah.
She probably wanted in on the party.
She could have wanted in on the party.
Probably like, why you messing with these kids when you can get you a grown ass white woman?
You can get you a grown.
Who?
Yeah. So what you think? The rejection had made her call the police on him?
I think so.
Come on. Lady, you petty. Just take the rejection and move on, man.
Yo, some people can't take rejection, man.
Let's take the rejection and move on, man.
Come on, man.
That dude is playing good by them kids.
Think about how many dudes probably seen a chick with them like, yo, chocolate. Yo, what's up? Nah, I got a man. And then you hear, fuck you, then. Yeah. They can't take the rejection.
But they ain't calling the police on her, though.
Well, nah, that's thirsty.
Yeah, you went from rejection to be like calling this man a straight up abducting kidnapper.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but that's just the thing. What can you do while being black? You can get your phone while it's recording you. Yeah.
Oh, that phone
you
tight,
probably
man.
might want to do that while you're black.
Pray your battery life is up. Yo.
What can you possibly do while being black? How about get your white friend to roll with?
Yeah, you
might want, you know what I mean? You might want you a white friend to roll with while black.
Yeah.
They do all the talking for you.
You know what you can do being black? Create a new black anime for starters. Shout out to yo, I'm an anime man. Shout out to Lakeith Stanfield. You guys might know him from the dude from Get Out. He's in Atlanta as well. He's all over the place. He's working.
Yeah, doing the same.
And LaShawn Thomas. LaShawn Thomas is one of the Boondocks creators, co-directors and stuff as well. They've now got together and they're making a black samurai in Africa named Yasuke.
Okay.
I'll say it like that, whatever. I guess I don't know how they might break it down in American and stuff, or in English they might say Yasuki, but I say Yasuke. So I guess you can do that while you're black. Yeah, because I'm an anime man, so I'm a rock with that. Because I was thirsty for after they did Afro Samurai. How they never did a whole bunch of trends after that?
I was gonna actually ask about that. So have you seen any like premise to it or what it's about or?
Because
we just know it's a black samurai.
Yeah, well, because like I want to say LaShawn and stuff, whatever. He's always been behind like some of the action stuff that popped up in the Boondocks, whatever. Right.
All
the martial arts
okay,
action and stuff, whatever. It's like there's only times stuff he get his teeth sunk into some stuff, whatever. And Lakeith, he's always been a fan of anime. That's what he said. That's why he played Death Note in the Netflix reboot last year, right, for 2017. Right. So he's been in that and everything. So he's just itching to get into this, whatever. So I want to see the works. They're trying to keep it under wraps, and they just put like the title up and stuff for them in a few places. But I don't know if it's legit. But you can't trust everything you see on the net, though, right?
Nah, you can't. You can't really.
So
is Aaron involved at all, or is it just do you know if Aaron's involved?
We don't know as of yet, but he might be. We don't know because I mean, like for the relationship that LaShawn and Aaron Magruder has. Aaron Magruder is the original creator of Boondocks. For those who don't know, so possible.
I would love to see Aaron involved and kind of bring that. Maybe not entirely bring that sort of Boondocks twist to it, but maybe like a few elements. Kind of just I don't know what he would. I want to see Black Samurai again. Damn it!
I want to see like if they're doing like a full backstory on this dude, whatever. I want to see all of it. I'm an anime dude.
And that's something.
You're an anime dude too, right?
Yeah. What? And my biggest thing was, after the Afro Samurai series, after the video game, there was nothing really anything.
It was a drought, man.
That was it. And I was like, with such a re-emergence with anime, right? This whole push for black excellence, this whole push of culture moving forward. Perfect time to bring back Afro Samurai. You know what I mean? Samuel Jackson will never lose his touch.
Yeah.
And that's when you first said, when you first mentioned this whole black samurai. And granted, I actually thought you were to do this whole thing with I know within the last few days of this whole Remembrance Day and war stuff, they were highlighting a lot of black soldiers.
Right.
And one of the things I did see was an actual thing about a black samurai.
Oh.
So I thought that's what you were when you initially brought up the topic. I thought that's what you were gonna jump on. But
I missed that.
But when you're saying this whole thing about
so bring it to me.
Yeah. So and I really glanced upon it because this is something that I heard in the past. So I didn't really pay attention to it when I was scrolling through it. But I mean, as we know, and as you may not know, black people were around during the Middle Ages, and before the Middle Ages,
and the start of time,
and during the start of time.
Okay.
And we were pretty good with traveling about the place. So places like Europe and Asia, we were most likely there.
Yeah.
So it's not far-fetched to think that, hey, we might have had some black emperors, some black samurais, some black kings, some black princes, some black stuff that we may have doubt existed because they're not readily represented in Hollywood TV and media. But rest assured, we were there. You understand? So this story highlights a black samurai, and again, it's something that I think prior to that.
Okay.
But it's something that I was privy to before, and my bad. I don't have the knowledge with me because it's something that I didn't expect to bring up.
Right.
Other than the fact that you're mentioning now that this cartoon is coming about with
anime,
this anime coming through with this black samurai thing, and even when you said that, my mind instantly jumped to Afro Samurai,
right?
Because I up to a few weeks ago, I was thinking about that.
Yeah, because it's in the frontal cortex of your brain, man. Because Afro Samurai kind of made a mark, or whatever. So let me ask you something. Another quick question.
Yeah.
Do you watch anime porn? That's a yes because you hesitated on that shit.
And I'm gonna say no.
You're gonna say no with a smile.
I'm gonna say no with a smile because I have let's put it this way.
These are my confessions.
I glanced upon it, and upon glancing upon it, I may stumble across one or two, but here's the thing, people.
You got a lot of explaining for the glance.
Here's the thing, people. I didn't realize that there is a difference between anime and hentai. Hentai.
Yes.
Anime and hentai. You understand?
Oh, so you got conscrewed now. Okay. All right.
Now,
I gotta hear this story.
I was chilling with the anime because anime is all about over exaggeration, right?
Eyeballs, hair, all that.
Is over exaggeration, right? So there's a lot of gratuitous, unnecessary things there. Hentai.
Salute to the otakus hearing this. They're gonna be pissed off.
Hentai, for some reason, is all about aliens and tentacles.
Yo, them tentacles they move fast, man. The tentacles move fast.
So imagine. And this is what I said, 2 or 3. Because by the time I hit the third, it went from anime and into hentai. And I said, what the hell? No! I did not need to see that.
Yeah. And it's engraved into your head anytime you see a damn tentacle and anything anywhere.
Dude, I'm afraid to touch anything that says anime because I'm feeling I might mistakenly fall into hentai.
Man. I see all of that. I watch all that. I'm an animated, but it's just that. Let me say this: when it comes to the hentai chicks and stuff, whatever. I guess they're based on a super fictional thing, whatever. So you know it all fake and stuff, whatever. But salute to the artists that can draw in detail and stuff, whatever. Because they can draw in detail to make you say like, you wouldn't mind smashing that? That means they did a good damn job.
Let me tell you something. And why is it that every chick in hentai
got big ass titties
and a dick?
And a dick. Whoa. You watching Kate and Jenner type hentai. Slow down. I ain't never watched.
Come on, man. Listen, man. And this is what I'm telling you. I stay away. This is why I stay away from it.
So you're watching chicks with dicks on anime.
It don't tell you, and you never speak the language. You looking for the subtitles, so the first thing that comes up is images. I'm like, okay, it's not
too late.
It ain't for me.
It's too late to apologize.
So I'm like, no.
Yeah,
I'm okay.
You're good.
With the categories that I recognize on Pornhub in next videos.
You're good. You stay to your safe zone.
I don't know what I'm gonna get with anime.
Too random for you.
Yeah, okay. It might leap into hentai, and I'm a little worried.
Yeah. Before we close up and everything and stuff, whatever. Somebody came to me and stuff, whatever, through the DM. You will remain anonymous, but I'm glad you're listening, and we thank you for all our supporters.
All our supporters, we thank you for it. If you enjoy what we're doing, tell a friend, post it on social media. You know, let them know we got something good over here. You know what I mean? Something that's intriguing and captivating and put your mind at ease, and you know what I mean. And not only that, listen, man, we're here for you. So if there's anything that this is, we enjoy the feedback first and foremost, and if there's anything that you like to see that we were able to tackle, or you think that we might be able to tackle, feel free to drop us an email, an IG, and whatever it is, man. And this is much for y'all as it is for us, and we enjoy doing
absolutely any topics and stuff, whatever you guys feel like you're confused about or shy about, don't hesitate to hit us up and stuff, whatever, on the DM especially.
And first of all, don't think we're gonna unconfuse you, because that's probably not gonna happen. We're just gonna entertain you.
We're gonna entertain you from our POV. So the person and stuff, she hit me up, and then she was saying that she felt like she was feeling inadequate and stuff for her marks and stuff, whatever, in life and everything, because she said that at age 23 she seen herself like graduating from school, university. At age 25 she probably be getting ready to get married. At age 27 and stuff, whatever, get the house with the kids and the picket fence and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And she is now 31, and she's nowhere near those marks. She finished school. She did finish the school aspect and stuff.
So school aspect is out of the way.
School aspect is out of the way and stuff for her. But the marriage, no. The kids, no. The house, no. She's renting and everything and stuff, whatever. And I told her and stuff, whatever, I told her a few things and a few suggestions and stuff, whatever. My thing and stuff was like, is it common to have goals and expectations and you don't hit the mark on?
Yeah, I think it's more common than not, and I say that with the knowledge of a lot of us set unrealistic expectations in achieving our goals. Mm-hmm. You understand? And we don't set markers in how to measure the progress.
Right.
You understand? So if you don't have markers in place to measure your progress, mm-hmm. there's no way of telling how close you are to your goal.
Fair, I see it.
And without no way of telling how close you are to your goal, mm-hmm. you can't really understand how much more effort that you need to take or you need to put in. For instance, if I'm doing stuff and I'm measuring my goals and I reach that halfway point, right, mm-hmm. and I mark off that goal, the halfway point, right. Mm-hmm. I now can look at it as there's either two outcomes I'm looking at it at this point. I'm either I need to do stuff to I'm halfway behind of where I need to be, mm-hmm. or I'm halfway there to where I need to be.
That's half glass. That's the glass half empty, half full.
Half glass, half empty, half full. Right. Right. But you have that measuring mark. Right.
Right.
So now it's up to you to decide. Right. At that point, you set that marker. Right. Mm. So that at that halfway point, what was the struggle for you to get to that halfway point? Was it worth the struggle getting to that halfway point? Mm-hmm. You understand? Are you willing to sacrifice another half
to get the other part of the goal?
To get to that goal from that halfway point? You understand?
Yeah.
Is it worth you putting towards another half to get to that point? Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? So now this becomes your measuring stick. This is either your point of going forward, your point of no return, or your point of calling it quits. Because at this halfway point, maybe something else has interested you.
Fair.
Maybe your goals and maybe not your aspirations is not the same.
Because you are not the same.
Because you're not the same.
Right.
So maybe that other half is now going to become a chore. Because that's not something that you're no longer interested in, something that you're no longer willing to pursue. But you feel now you have to because you've made that halfway point. You've already invested
that much
into it. Mm-hmm. Right? Okay, so that at that point it becomes a decision to you. Mm. Because if you're at that halfway point, then you gotta believe that you can get to where you need to go. Mm-hmm. You understand? It might take a little bit more effort. It might take a little bit more know-how. It might take a little bit more of this. But you've made it to the halfway point. You're halfway there. You said yourself that you can do it. You can do it. You understand? Mm-hmm. Now it's taking that and running with it. Now it's believing that there's nothing else that can be put in front of you, that last half that's gonna stop you. And running with it. It's those people who see that, who can see the end and see that goal in sight, run into it and make it and make it and make it. You understand?
So what about the people that can't?
The people who can't, it's hard fought to do that little last bit of the journey, and everything else becomes easier.
I seen somewhere where they said a plan without an execution is merely a hallucination. So I feel like it's part of the execution, like how you go about it.
For sure, it's 100. It's 100%. You can't have a plan and not execute it. You can't. Right. You have to execute your plan.
No, but let's say, we'll go back to this girl's story.
Right.
If she had these kind of goals and expectations and stuff, whatever, pertaining to like a guy,
right,
whatever, right, for the husband feature in her dreams,
right,
and the husband feature, let's say she wanted him tall, dark, and handsome. Don't underlook us short dudes in the process. But that whole aspect and stuff that didn't come out to play and stuff, whatever, it was more an execution, because if her overall goal was to be with somebody and stuff that can be with her, ride with her, and be good to her, she didn't have to look like for a specific type of look or requirement. It didn't have to be a tall, dark, and handsome dude. It could have been a short, white, chubby dude.
Right.
Right?
Right.
But it's the main concern and stuff is the execution, is that she needs a guy to be from boyfriend to transition to husband in that part of her dream.
Right.
So it's all into her execution on that, is it not?
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. It's all on her execution to that point. And again, I say, it's to set goals, and then it's gotta really be something that you really dream on doing, because in order for it to manifest, it's gonna take a lot of you putting yourself into whatever it is that you want to manifest. Mm-hmm. You understand? Like, for instance, one of the expressions in the entertainment business is paying your dues.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Meaning that you wanna be on the big world tour. Well, first you got to do the little chitlin circuit.
Yeah.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
You got to be willing to put in your work and do the little chitlin circuit and be recognized in the little chitlin circuit before you can be drafted to do the world tour, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, in anything I mean, we start off the podcast talking about, in anything you choose to do, you have to put the groundwork in doing it.
Absolutely.
Right? And then putting in groundwork in doing it, you gotta set yourself a certain amount of goals to see at least a progress. Not only to see a progress.
Yeah, that's right.
To almost kind of see, okay, well, you know what? It's leading in a certain direction.
Right.
Look at us, right?
Right.
Podcast. We say, okay, let's report. We want to record a podcast, right?
Right.
A few weeks go by, we don't mention anything because we're doing some other stuff. Yeah. You understand? But we know that we want to do it. So I go to the UK, I come back. You hit me up. Hey, what's going on with podcasts?
Yeah.
I said, okay, all right. It's now back in my mind. Okay. It's serious. It's something that we've set our minds to do. It's not all in the execution, right? We don't know how it's going to turn out.
Right. But we have set markers.
Right. We don't know how it's gonna turn out. We don't know what's gonna what it's gonna be about. We have ideas.
Right.
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 But we don't know. Right.
Right.
We know though. As soon as we do episode 1, we're now a podcast because we're a podcast. That step is accomplished.
That's accomplished. Right.
That's something we can measure.
Right, that's a goal right there.
Oh, you want to be a podcaster? Well, how you gonna be a podcaster and have nothing to podcast? Oh, we have an episode. So that one episode, it may be one episode, but that makes us podcasters.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So now we're saying to ourselves, well, man, we got one episode up there. We're podcasters. How consistent we gonna be? Right?
Right.
Okay. Well, then we're 5 episodes in. Shit, we did 5 episodes. That's a mark.
That's a mark.
We're 5 episodes in. Now we know we can be consistent. we can deliver stuff.
Consistency is the key.
Consistency is the key, right?
Right.
So now we're thinking to ourselves, well, we have 5 episodes in that people are now can tune in and listen to. Mm-hmm. Well, we can't stop now because as they listen to those 5 episodes,
they're gonna want more.
They're gonna want more.
Right.
So now we know we have an audience. Now we know our next goal is to prepare more material for the audience.
Correct.
Right? This is the next step's the goal. We bypassed having a podcast.
Right.
That goal is accomplished. We had the podcast. Right? So now the next step is, well, we got to provide content for our viewing audience, right? So we provide content for our viewing audience, right?
Right.
That's the key. So then now the next step is well, now we need more people to view the content that we got people viewing. So now the next set of goals becomes growing that podcast. You understand?
Yeah.
But we know the overall goal. What we have in mind is to have a successful podcast. The end goal is to have a successful podcast.
Absolutely.
But everything leading up to that point is steps that we can look at and measure. Okay, we tick this off. We tick this off. We tick off. Because if we never started with that first podcast, we can't look at ourselves saying, well, we want to have a successful podcast. We ain't even do a podcast. How we can look to have a successful podcast?
That'd be just an expectation.
You know what I mean?
Just be an expectation.
5 podcasts in, we even say that after the first podcast, we just saying to ourselves, we need a successful podcast. Well, how are we going to say to ourselves we're going to have a successful podcast when we only have 1 episode?
True.
So now 5 episodes in, we're getting feedback for the 5 episodes. We're saying to ourselves, hey, we have we can do a podcast. We have enough to say that people are listening to it. So let's continue because we have an audience.
Right.
You understand? So each step is a measuring to that success. You understand? Now, if we'd have never got no feedback from the first 5 episodes, we'd probably been like, maybe we need to rethink this. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's not something, or even if we did not get the feedback, maybe it's just too time consuming. Maybe there's something in it that we couldn't do, or we couldn't feel. But no, we've experienced it. We say no, we can do it. So it's worth carrying on. It could have went the other way where we could have said,
could have went south.
So listen, nah, that's not gonna work. Let's
you got your shit to do. I got my shit to do.
Let's try something else.
Yeah,
you understand? But it works.
Right.
You understand? So that's our measuring stick to say, okay, we can continue. Mm. You understand? So I've been in situations where I've tried stuff and the measuring stick doesn't measure up and I just can't it.
Well, I mean, because you're in the music industry too, right?
There it is. You understand? So and that's part of. I think a big part of that is knowing yourself and knowing how far you're willing to extend yourself and what the outcome is gonna be for whatever you put yourself forward to.
Yeah, that's realistic.
You know what I mean? You have to have that type of mind frame. Cause I have a lot of friends who've started stuff that they've never probably should have started, but they've never thought it through. They just started it with the sake of starting it.
Yeah. You
understand? But just never really thought it through. So when the first hardship hits them, they fold. You know what I mean? They fold. It's that much quicker than anything else because they've never prepared for that. They never look down the line and say, yo, this might hit us. That might hit us. This might be a setback. That might be a setback. Mm-hmm. You understand? Whereas if you're truly in it to win it, you've studied all of that. You've prepared yourself for all of that.
Absolutely. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Well, that's it. You understand? Mm-hmm. And not saying that I don't know the extent of your friend and how your friend planned for that situation.
Right.
But maybe it's a situation where, you know what I mean, it wasn't really for you, and because it's not really for you, whatever efforts that you put forward may not be fruitful. Mm-hmm. You understand from that perspective,
right?
And you know what? At the end of the day, it might just be intuition telling you to say, listen, this is not it. Back away from it. You understand? And you can't look at it as... the only times that I look at situations like that as a defeat mm-hmm. is if you never gave your all.
But you still have to blame.
To get that desired outcome that you should have gotten.
if you've given your all and it didn't work, then chances are it wasn't for you to begin with, or it wasn't for you to wrap your mind around.
I don't believe in win or losing anymore. I believe in win and learn. That's the only L I'm taking.
Yeah.
Because my thing and stuff is that if you don't win, you learn from the experience. You learn from the process.
100%.
So that's my thing and stuff, whatever. You 100%. Win and you learn, right? So if you give it your all and you didn't win, you learn something dramatically and stuff in the process.
You've learned something in the progress. You've learned something that you could apply to anything, to other things.
Exactly.
So and I think, for the most part, we look at it's I guess it's human nature to look at the disappointment as a disappointment and not look at it as what do you take from that, what do you take from that disappointment? Because I'm pretty sure there's pluses where she could take from that whole situation if she really thinks about it. And then it's taking those pluses and applying it. And it's not to say that it's not to say that you can't revisit your dreams.
Right.
Maybe it's just not that time. Maybe it's not the time for your dreams to manifest. So you can always revisit them. Don't ever think that it's whatever's done, it's done for forever. No. It could just be done for that moment.
It'll be coming back.
Of course.
I'm about to bring back freaknik.
Shake
what your mama gave, yeah.
And this time it's gonna be even better because you're gonna have the freaknik app.
Oh,
boom! We're gonna be part of the app. We will institute the freaknik on top of the app.
Boom!
That will screen for disgusting perverts at the freaknik, and will allow you to verify age, and then get the consent all going into one app.
And if you like
freaknik
with a little hentai artwork to enter you in.
But no hentai.
no hentai. Okay, we coming to that ending closer area, whatever, with the questions. It's been a nice day. So the question that I had and stuff, whatever, for you and for all the listeners out there on the Podical Sons is: do you wish you would have knew something sooner than you did? Like I feel like certain relationships, like women that I've dated, I wish I would learned certain things and stuff, whatever. Like specifically about, like, I want to say you're supposed to learn something from everybody you meet.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's certain women and stuff, whatever, or certain women that I've dated, I didn't learn anything from. I just felt it was kind of a waste of space. And I remember there was an older lady and stuff I spoke to one day, and she told me, she said, if you don't see yourself going to City Hall with the girl, you're wasting your time. And those girls, I mean, like, aesthetically, looks was there.
Yeah.
But everything else stuff, it was kind of like, why am I here? When the nut is done. So that's just me.
I think that's a lot of male thinking once the nut is done. I'm sorry, but yeah, I mean, some of you guys did this, and I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. I'm a married man. Mostly single men are probably gonna hate me for this, the divulging the secrets. But listen, at a certain age, once the nut is done, we lying in the bed wondering what the hell we doing. What we lying in here? I mean,
trying to pull a coyote, chew your arm off, and be out.
I'd be out. But that it's an interesting take.
You know my questions ain't light. You know they ain't light.
Well, I'm trying to think of what do I wish I learned earlier. And to be 100% honest with you, it wouldn't be anything relationship-wise. It would be more financial. For me personally.
Well, yeah.
I think, knowing what I know now, if I had known that, let's say in the age of 19...
You saying 19s? If you knew Google was going to pop, you would have invested in Google.
If I knew a lot of things was going to pop, I would have been invested in it. But even from the simple standpoint of, not defaulting on my, on my phone bill or anything like that would put a hamper
on your credit,
on my credit. Because I tell you, between the ages of 19 and 27, my credit was fucked up. You know what I mean? Right. And it caused a lot of issues in my late 20s trying to get things done. And then by the time I was by the time I did get myself solid back on my feet, and heading into my 30s, it was a lot of finances wasted to get myself back on my feet. That now I could have been in my 30s using to my advantage and investing in that sort of thing. Yeah. You understand? So a lot of my financial knowledge I didn't gain until later on in life. And granted, I learned it in time to put certain things in place. But then I always say to myself, what if I had this knowledge earlier, like mad early, when I was, like 19, because the think of the amount of stuff that you lay waste your money to,
right? You burned out that you didn't need to,
you know what I mean? If you had that certain amount of knowledge, you wouldn't. I think that's probably one of the big things somebody would have wished. Like right now, the whole thing is teach kids how to be entrepreneurs in school, in high school. Right. You understand? Because that's knowledge. Teach kids about taxes in high school. Because that's knowledge that you need coming out of high school. Even before you do anything else, it affects you.
They're not gonna do that. I always tell
we spoke about this. You understand? They need factory workers,
right?
And they need leaders of those factory workers. That's why education up until college is free for the factory workers. And anybody who wants to be above a factory worker has to pay for that knowledge. Exactly. You understand? So yeah, we know what it is. You understand? So for me, that's what it would be for me going back. If I wish there was any type of knowledge that I would have gained, earlier in life, it would be how to have success with finances and how to position myself better. But eyesight's a bitch. And she dates if you're lucky.
Valid. I'm good for today, man.
I'm good for today, bro.
I just want to say final.
R.I.P.
Stanley.
Yeah, I was about to say, real quick before we go, and we don't have to do a specific episode. We touched about we'll do an anime.
Hentai.
we'll touch upon hentai. We won't touch upon hentai, but we'll touch upon hentai
and comics.
Hentai. Comics, cartoons, and all of that, because that's pretty much our background, how we grew up.
Most definitely.
We both enjoyed drawing.
Yes.
In that aspect, and it was a big part of our childhood. And Stan Lee and Marvel Comics was a big part of that childhood. Absolutely. So I think we'll do a dedication. We'll do a good portion of it on Stan Lee and the Marvel Empire, the universe. And and then just a general overall cartoon, anime, hentai experience all together.
You want a woman, anime in the streets, hentai in the sheets.
No.
Thank you for listening to the Podical Sons. Remember, the difference between stupidity and genius is that genius has its limits. Peace
and no tentacles.
The Podical Sons.